generally. Right, to start with, I want you to sit back in your chair as comfortably as you can. Are you on a spinny chair, Rachel?
No, I've got my...
Oh, perfect, perfect. If anyone's on a spinny chair, it's just extra effort. So get yourself as stable as you can and wedge the chair against something so that it's not just moving around. Otherwise, little parts of your body are just having to keep that going. And I want you to be able to, for the moment, sit back. And you need to be a little bit more open here. The more squashed you are, the harder this next bit's going to be, but I promise it's not hard. So sit back. You see my legs are wide, the feet are down on the floor. You are grounded. You literally are feeling the ground. I want you to feel across your front and find your collarbone. So this is the bit, we'll do a bit of opening for this area later, but just feel your collarbone. And then feel down the center, your sternum, your breastbone. So just trace that down. Now this is the bit, you can see I'm already sitting up and reducing this scrunchy bit here. Feel down to where it ends. So on me, it's about here. And then I want you to feel your ribs, your rib cage. I've got tissues and things, so I'm going underneath to my t-shirt underneath. Just feel where the edges of it are. So these bottom ribs here, there's a lot more space between them. These higher ribs here can attach straight onto the sternum, the breastbone. These bottom ribs are attaching onto your sternum up here, but it's a much longer way to go. There are longer tendons and ligaments to get them there, but it also means your rib cage has got a capacity to move outwards, more so at the bottom than here, but it's definitely got this capacity. Right, now can we go back to tracing the breastbone again? Feel for that little dip, don't press. It's very delicate there. It's your sort of nerve center, solar plexus. And just slide down about an inch or so. It doesn't have to be super precise. Now you've got your hand just resting here. I want you to give me, it's almost like a little teetery clearing of the throat, like you're in a Regency drama. So you can imagine yourself in Bridgerton or something. And a little, I know it's funny to do and it'll make you giggle. Good. Because you can feel under your hand is going, oh, 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 it's just having this little flex. So you've found your diaphragm. So if you ever need to find it, just that little, we'll do it. Now you can cough and do stuff like that, but that's a lot more downward pressure. Who needs that when you can go, whilst imagining yourself in a Regency drama of any kind. So you found your diaphragm. Now just rest your hand there. So you've got this little area for feedback. You can close your eyes if you want to, especially as you're seated. If you're standing, it's a bit more challenging, but you can close your eyes. It will make you more mindful and go within. Open them anytime you want. And now I just want you to breathe in and out through your nose. Nothing fancy, not a deep breath, just breathing. So you're already doing it. And feel your hand just move a little bit away from you and then settle a little bit down. A little bit away from you and a little down. You can open your eyes or you can stay closed. It's all good. You can let your shoulders drop. You can move your head if you want to. Any little wriggles, that diaphragm will stay there. Now just listen to the air and the breath in your ears and your head. You'll hear breathy types of sounds. It might be quite noisy. It might be really quiet. All I'd like you to do is smooth it. Smooth it on the inwards breath and smooth it on the exhale. And then just let your exhale grow slightly longer than your inhale. It's a tiny amount. And then start to flutter your eyes open if they're closed. Take your hand down and just have a little wriggle in your chair. And then wriggle yourself a bit more and bring your legs inwards until they're parallel and your feet are pointing forwards. And then I want you to have a little wriggle in whatever you've got on. So just like you're trying to sort of touch all the edges of whatever you've got on, just have that little wriggle. Lovely. And then grow a little taller. And now you're wriggling more on your bum. and we're trying to get right up on our sit bones. So you might feel them already. It depends if you've got like quite a flat bum or a skinny bum without much coverage on it. It can be straight to, or on a hard chair, all those things. If you've got a well-covered bum, you might have to move your legs further out to the side, sort of pull the thigh out, and just so you can get right on those bumpy bits. Oh, I'm right on my bumpy bits. I can feel. You can stick your hands underneath and feel them as well. So that's your sitting bone. It's just the bottom sort of bit of your pelvis, and it's sort of pointy and slightly rounded. And you may even feel that sort of sensation. It's certainly not spread out. Right, I want you to rock forwards a little and let the weight of your body fall underneath onto your thighs, and then pull back. So this is quite exaggerated. Lovely. Right, now I'd like you to grow tall. It's going to be a lot less. It's almost, we're sitting very proper now, so arms are sort of straight like a slide. Your hands are just resting here, and everything's sort of stacked and tall. And then we can look forwards and just pull our head and face back a little. You might feel like there's a little extra chin, yeah. If you just dip down very slightly, you'll feel all the chins. Beautiful. Right, in this position, I'd like you to breathe. So I'm asking quite a lot. It's easier to breathe up here rather than feel your belly move. Your belly's got tension on it holding you up. So breathe in. And as you breathe out, pull your belly back, like it's rolling back towards you, and feel your bum rolling back on the chair. I'm going to turn to the side so you can see. So pulling back and back, and then rolling up and forwards. So now we're much smaller than we were like this before, and now we're on a much smaller movement, and we've isolated just this part of our spine. You can move your hands maybe to your belly and your back if you can, or just to your belly. And the really hard bit is to try and keep your head and shoulders still whilst you're doing it, and then you're in the isolation zone, and we're all good. Beautiful. You can see how it's just really got much smaller, sort of more precise. And then have a little wiggle side to side and just ease it out. It frees up the pelvis. It sort of frees up the SI joint area, which is often a tricky area for people, and just sort of brings blood to the area. Right, now we're going to grow tall again. Arms can relax here, and tap the back of your head. It's like the place where if you've got a ponytail sticking out the back, that place. Get a bit of tingle. Take your head back a little, so you feel a slight bit of chins. And now turn your head one way and the other. And then pick a side and stay there, and take the arm outwards, just outwards somewhere, and turn your palm up towards the ceiling and down again. It doesn't have to go right up if it feels super tight along your arm, and your arm can be behind you a little bit. Now, if you get RSI type pains, or you can get into all the tingles on this one. So just feel the place where it's like you're turning the volume up, and then you're turning the volume down. We don't want the volume on high. Beautiful. And then bring your arm in, come back to the center, have a little wriggle of the shoulders. That's it, like you're sort of fiddly and can't sit still, you know the one. And then we're going to do the same on the other side. So turn your face to the side, turn your head to the side, open the arm out, and then turn your palm up and down, and just see what the sensation's like on this side. Can your arm go back behind you a little bit? If your arm can go back a long way, maybe you've got EDS and you've got a lot of movement in your shoulders, just bring your head back, and can you see your hand out the side of your eye? Maybe it's a little too far back. Just have a little check. And then bring your arm back to the center, bring your face back to the center, and slide your hands on your thighs, and just start to let your waist turn. So your head's already done some turning. This time it's your ribs, it's that area. Lovely. You can make this bigger if you want to, if it feels nice, or you can keep it small. So to make it bigger, pick a side when you've done your slide, and then just take the arm and just hold the chair a little, and you can just rotate a little further. And then you can come back and have a few slides in the middle, like a little reset. And then pick a side and do your slide, and then hold the chair, just rotate a little further. And come back to the center, little slide again. And then have a little look down at your feet. Check that the toes are pointing forwards. Your legs are at about 90 degrees, so they're making a sort of L shape at the side. Just give them a little press in, a bit like you're a cat pressing into like a blanket or a duvet, or your belly if they're sitting on your belly, yeah. And just get a little bit of feeling. So where are you feeling it? It's going to be lots of potential places, maybe your feet, maybe not. In your thighs, often. And that's the most common place. Maybe in the front of your legs. So just tuning in where you feel that sensation. Now both feet are resting on the floor with a gentle pressure. We're going to start raising our toes up and down. So just about, I think, the bottom of the screen can see my toes going up and down. Yeah, just the toes, the rest of the foot stays down. And just have a little look at them. Just out of interest, look and see what's happening. Are some toes getting left behind? Probably the little toe end. Is the big toe going, oh, look at me, I can come up super tall, and yeah. And the other thing that might be happening is sometimes the foot sort of tilts outwards a little, like it goes over one way. It doesn't want to stay down as the toes rise, yeah. Now what if that's happening? If you've got anything that can go under your feet, like I'm coming to the edge of my mat, just so it gives me a little bit more sensation under the toes. It could be like something cold or something papery that rustles. Just stick your toes on it. Now keep your toes on it and try and lift them away a little bit and then down. That change in texture and noise and sensation can just help control the foot a little and stop it doing that sort of, I want to go outwards. So I don't know if that's helping, but it's just a change in sort of proprioceptive focus for your foot to let it know where it is. Sometimes something furry underneath or rough, that change in sensation can help. Lovely. Now, keep your toes down. I'm going to have mine so the sort of the front of my feet is on the edge of the mat. That feels nice for my proprioception. Front of your foot down, heels coming up. And just have a little look at what your knees are doing. Can they keep that gap? Or are they coming inwards? And grow a little taller. That's it. It's a bit of effort to keep that gap and stop it going in. Yeah, so just keep your focus on that. Try it with, let's have maybe hands up here. That's it. And breathing, by the way. Forgot to mention that, yeah. On an exhale is nice as the heels go up. That's it. Now you may want a little glance down. Are your ankles doing this at some point? Are they having a little wobble? Yeah. So if your ankles are going out and you may have like issues with foot stability and stuff like that, less is more. So instead of up here and up a little bit, just a little. And we can all take it down, because by taking it down, it actually in some ways becomes harder. So now let's try it with the legs against each other. You can have your hands here or here, don't mind. But press your feet down, and as you push down, feel this bit goes, oh, okay, yeah, Mike, I'm waking up. Now heels up and down just a little, maybe 2 centimeters. Now hopefully your ankles are inwards a little more and the feet are a little bit more controlled. Now take it out a little, small gap. Same, just a little. Sometimes when we go up, we're like, oh, we can go up, oh, and then it goes, whoa, and it sort of collapses. So just those little ones. Your calves, by the way, might start to ache a little bit after this one. So now let's come forwards on the chair. So I'm shuffling. I'm going to give you a bit of angle. Shuffle forwards. Take the leg forwards. It's extended. It doesn't need to be super straight and pushed back. It can be straighter, but bring your toes towards you. You need the edge of your chair, otherwise it just gets very uncomfortable in the hamstrings. And you can let it release and come towards you, and release and come towards you. That's it. And then let that one slide back, and the same on the other side. So bringing those toes towards you. You might find that your foot tilts a bit. I would say with that, it really helps sometimes to use, we don't use props in this class, but if you're doing this at home, to have something stretchy or a belt And then you've got something for your foot to press against as you bring it towards you. That can really help. Or we just don't tend to use props because if you're in a workplace, it's really hard to have props around you. It's just letting that foot come off and on. That's it. And then you can take yourself back a little bit more onto your chair. Give your shoulders a little bit of a roll. That's it. And we'll go for a neck roll. This is like my go-to, a sort of horseshoe-ish shape. If you're comfortable taking it further round, go for it. Lovely. And then come back to looking forwards. And we're going to take our arms to our sides now. Just have a little wiggle in your chair. So your arms, it's a bit like you're a robot, really, with these sort of fixed L-shaped arms, and they're at your sides. And just check in with what's happening with your body as you're doing this. Does it feel like you're pushing forwards? Does it feel like you're sort of all scrunched up? We're trying to find somewhere in between. So if it feels like this is happening, you need to pull your belly back a little bit. And if it feels like this is happening, think of growing tall, or maybe a crown or a thread pulling here. We're going to take a breath in. Any old breath will do, just breathing in. And as you breathe out, keep your arms close to your sides, keep the same gap like you've got a present between your hands, and slide your elbows back a little, and then let them come forwards. So the effort is in sliding back, and then just let them release. And it's not very far. You can see mine not going very far. Hopefully you're feeling a little bit along here, just a little bit of opening in the chest. This is a great one to do if you've been working at a desk a lot. Several times a day, do a bit of this one. That's it. And then to ease this one off, because this is a bit robotic and straight, now open your legs a little wider. Keep your elbows in and start to take your arms outwards in this sort of infinity shape. That's it. And then make it bigger, like you're just letting more air underneath your arms. Lovely. Now you can hinge forwards and backwards. You can feel the weight change and go down into your legs, and keep your back straight. If you've got any issues with your low back or osteoporosis or osteopenia, keep your back straight like this. Otherwise, if you're happy bending your back, you can dive down a little and then come up, if that feels okay for you. If it feels like you get dizzy easily doing things like this, the straighter back option is going to be less sort of blood pumping effort. That's it. Lovely. And a couple more. And then just have a rest. You can either slump back, you can rest forwards, leaning on your legs, have a little wiggle, just a moment. And if you need a drink or anything, you can grab a drink. And then have a wiggle on your chair. And we're slightly forward from the back, so there's a little bit of room behind. Right, you can see I'm sat very proper now in front of you. Legs are parallel, hands are waiting. Just rest your arms there for the moment. We're going to raise one leg up. So it could be like this, so the foot hovers, or it could just be the heel if that feels too much. But you don't want your body to start rocking over. So just a little, because our legs are already bent. And then the other side. So if your hands are on top of your legs, it's just adding a tiny bit more resistance. That's it. And now seeing if you can do it. At the moment, sort of flat feet hovering. And then we can start to lengthen the foot, maybe take the knee a little higher. And then maybe we can, it's almost like slow motion running. Now I don't mind which feet you have, whichever they want to do. And just let the arms move. Very nice. And then let the body just turn a little, like you're just seeing someone out of the corner of your eye, and the other corner, and the other corner. Very nice. Very nice. It looks so dramatic. Beautiful. and then take it down, wiggle right back in your chair now. So you've got maximum chair underneath the thighs, and start to take one leg forwards and then the other. And you're going for length. It could be that the length extends your leg, but your foot stays a bit on the floor, or it could be your leg comes up and it's parallel to the floor and it's completely horizontal. It doesn't matter. That's it. It can help to hold the chair. Start to bring your toes closer towards you. So your foot's really flat and you're pressing the heel away. I like to imagine doing like a footprint on a wall opposite me as I'm doing this. And you might even be able to take one up, bring the other up, take one down and the other down. But don't worry if you can't. Some people love this one. Other people are like, oh my goodness, no way. You can even take both up together if you like. I mean, I would put my legs together for that sort of squeezing. There's that option too, but I'm not going there today. Then take the legs wider. And we're going to do like a little teapot stretch. So you slide your hands upwards and reach over slightly. I think you've probably done this one, Leanne. We use this one a lot. It's a really nice way to get a bit of side bending and wake up your side muscles without sort of getting too crushy and sort of falling down. So keep your handle sort of reaching over. That's it. And as you do this, push your feet and your legs downwards, almost like you're trying to stand. That's it. And one more each side. And then bring your hands back to your legs, and we're going to heel toe our feet forwards. Lovely. And then come forwards a little on your chair. Now we're going to work the legs out and in one at a time. So you can either slide, and I like to imagine something like a door against the leg and you're sort of pushing the door open, or you can lift and take out. But look what your knee does. Does your knee do this? And your side of your foot do that? We don't want that. It means you're going too far. So less. Even if it looks like this, I've got one lady I work with and she like that. That's enough. And even when she does that, her ankle tries to go outwards. So she's just working with that restriction. You've got to think, what's it like? So you might be going somewhere over here or almost next to the other leg. The rest of your body is like poker face looking forwards. Maybe your hands can rest on your chest. And then just let that leg have a little flop. It builds up in the thigh quite quickly. Yeah. And then the other side. So start with your hands down somewhere. They can be holding the chair. They can be resting on your legs. And just see what it's like to take that one out. And just check your knee. Is it going in? Does it need to be a smaller range of movement? Pushing the other foot down can help. You can do it in 2 stages as well. Some people like to do a step and a step and a step and a step, and that feels easier than doing one bigger step. That's it. And you might take your hands upwards. And then you can feel it's starting to build up, yeah? And then we can let it go. And maybe both legs just have a little flop, a little jelly. Give them a little rub, that's it. And then bring your legs back to facing forwards and your hands on your chest. Just wiggle to grow tall. Yes. Now we're going to do a little turn, but it's not the head, it's the ribs. So just a little turn and then face forwards. And a little turn and face forwards. Now if it feels like your head and neck just cannot resist having a little further turn, press your fingers just under your chin and do the same thing, because then you've got like a little base for your chin and you'll know if it's trying to do a little cheat. That's it. Lovely. Last one each way. and place your arms down by your sides, long arms. They're quite close to you and the palms are facing backwards. I've got my fingers spread. You don't have to, they could be a bit more relaxed, but it seems to feel nice with that. I want you to feel like you're reaching downwards. And now you're reaching downwards and pushing back. There's something behind you and you're pushing it back with straight arms. Now, how far you go when you do this, I'm going to do it with one side. Just, you might go a little bit and that might feel enough. It might be that you can go a lot more. Just find your range. There's no wrong or right, but it's for opening this area. That's it. Lovely. Now, another thing you can do with this one, when we do this, there's nothing against us. And if you can move a long way, it can feel a bit unstable. You're like, oh, I could keep going forever. It could just go backwards forever. So grab the chair sides and put your hands against them if you've got a chair with sides as well. Now you're going to sort of, it's like you're going for a straight backed bow, and you can see my hands sort of still against the chair. And I'm going somewhere I can hold it. So you've got to, muscles in your core are working a bit here. So it might be up here, it might be way down here, but just find a place that you can hold it. And now breathe. That's the difficult bit. Breathe in this position. And on your next exhale, slide forwards and just have a little soft wriggle. And we'll do it again. So arms downwards. This time the palms are in towards your chair. Press against your chair sides. And then just slide yourself, bowing down. You can push your feet down too. You're looking ahead, so your head doesn't bow down, it just looks ahead, but you can feel your shoulder blades squeezing together and your chest opening at the front. Couple of breaths here. And on your exhale, come upwards. Well done. It's a stronger one, that one, but it does get everything open there at the front. So a little bit of softness to finish. Let's have some wrist circles here. You can keep your hand quite floppy and relaxed. That's it. We can go a little forwards and backwards. We can do an elbow circle back. Just careful not to crash into your chair or anything else. That's it. Let your body turn a little. And then just take your hands and have a little swish around. You might want wider legs for this one. And you can imagine whatever you fancy here. It might be like water, the perfect temperature. It might be like clouds and air and bubbles, anything. Lovely. And then let's take it back to sitting. And sit back in your chair. You can find that little place. Give yourself that little and just let your breath settle for a moment. Close your eyes if you want to. And just thanking your body for half an hour well spent. One more breath like that. Open your eyes. Take your time. Come to upright, your palms at the side. We're going to scoop up the air to bring your hands together as you breathe in. And bring them into your chest. Give yourselves a clap. Well done. I hope